Before the world was screaming Love Sosa, before the drill scene went global, there was a name that made the whole Oblock look over their shoulder at night. BossTrell. Some called him the king of hits. Others called him the Chiraq Max Payne, and for a reason. This man was a real-life menace from STL, and he moved with a level of coldness that most people only see in the movies. BossTrell wasn't just spinning blocks, he was sniping them. Everybody in the wood knew about that infamous pipe he carried, a tool with a red laser beam that could find you from way across the street. He was scoring on the O from a distance, treating the street like a kill zone. When that red dot danced on your chest, it was already too late. He put in so much work for his gang, his clout inside STL EBT was sky high. But don't get it twisted, BossTrell wasn't just a hitter, he was a known trapper too. Getting money was never an issue for him. He moved with the weight of a boss, and that's why the biggest factors in the city looked up to him. We talking about KI, TB, WIIIC. Even Lil B had Trell's name tattooed on his chest. Scrap from Mob with him the most, cause just like Scrap, BossTrell was a real hitter, and he was crazy with it. But there's a dark side to this legend. Even the toughest hitters get tired of the war. By late 2012, Trell was looking for a way out of the rack. He was finna leave a gang life behind and move for a fresh start. A few days before he was packed up, he tweeted it out to the world. "I can't wait for my new start." He was that close to escaping the cycle. But you know how the streets work. You can't do all that drilling and get away scot-free. The past always has a way of catching up to you, even when you're looking at the exit sign. He was shot and killed early in the drill war, leaving behind a reputation that still rings through the South Side today. And you locked in with HoodEdition. Today we deep dive into one of Chicago's most honored and most feared hood legends. The man, the myth, BossTrell. Let's get into it. Every legend got a starting point, and for Rodney Latrell Stewart, it all kicked off on April 11, 1995, born right in the heart of Chicago. But here's the part that'll trip you up. Trell wasn't always STL. He grew up on the low end, living with his mother and his grandma, Sheila Green. To his family, he was just Rodney, a polite, quiet kid who never gave his grandma a day of trouble. It's crazy how the same hands that help grandma with the groceries are the same ones that finna hold the heat later on. Trell came from a line of factors. His big brothers Ray and Ronzilla was already deep in the paint with a renegade set called LAFA, Love Anna Forever Always. Ronzilla was a real-life hitter, a man so respected that even opposition like Bezu gave him his flowers. Trell's Twitter handle was Free LAFA Ron for a reason. Blood ran deeper than sets, and that LAFA heart was pumping through Trell's veins before he ever claimed the wood on 63rd. Around the age of 10, the projects on the low end got torn down. That's when Trell and his grandma moved to the infamous 6347 St. Lawrence Avenue. You gotta understand, this wasn't just a house. 6347 became the main trap house for STL. Everybody was hanging there. Trell was a natural. He wasn't just out there sliding, he was getting to the bag. He was trapping so hard, he was buying multiple PS3s, iPhones, designer gear, and flashy watches. He also had a dog named Briscoe he was proud of and posted often. He even bought his first whip. FBG Cash called it a lemon, but it didn't matter. It was Trell's whip, and he was bending through the city in it. But the fast life comes with a price tag. By the time he was supposed to be at DuSable High, Trell was already too big of a target. He had to stop going to school because 12 and the ops was always looking for him. His grandma was hurting over it, so he promised her he'd take online classes. He moved out of his grandma's crib briefly to live with his girlfriend, Lady Rothy. He was trying to balance being a lover, a grandson, and a ghost in the streets. His mother passed away in 2020, but back then, she loved her son so much that when he was gone, she got BossTrell World tattooed right on her face. That's the type of pain Chicago breeds. A mother carrying her son's legend on her skin because the streets took him before his time.
Without a deal. Get that ass man. Without a deal. You can hold him onto the light net, then you just drill right there. Come right at you, man. Hold up, man. What iPhone for what shot? Going and cushy. Yeah, you doing shit. Hey, this nigga is not trying to get high off contact. He putting the bag up to his nose. What's wrong with him? Nigga D's without this. Blowing that shit. Alright, know me. Yeah.
To understand the legend of BossTrell, you gotta understand that this man was a monster in the streets. He wasn't just a member, he was a factor on the same level as the most notorious savages Chicago ever saw. We talking about names that make the whole city shiver. Lil B, T-Roy, KingVon, Melly, Seed-Eye. Trell didn't just play the game, he was in it to win. He didn't even hang with most of STL cause he thought they was soft, only claiming work on social media that he was actually out there doing. He only rocked with the real ones: Duck, Cash, Dutchy, K.I., Butter, Lil B, WIIIC. Beyond that, he was out in traffic with the elders from EBT and MOB, catching multiple bodies and leaving a trail of lead across the south side. But even a hitter got dreams. Trell was looking at the rap game, probably inspired by his best friend Cash, but his real identity was inked in his skin. He had a graveyard tattoo on his trigger finger and trap money on his arm. Soon as Trell got a little bag, he didn't go to the mall. He went straight to the gun store. Trell loved the pipes.
My grandma, BT would be in the spot all day, sir. As soon as he get his little money or anything he get, BT right to the gun store. On bro, whether if he buys some shells, a clip, some type of attachment. On bro, he get to it. BT love the guns, love the pipe. Bro, he get money to go get pipes. My grandma, so it's like, yeah, that's how Lil B was too. Sure, they gonna get that paper, they gonna get guns in the first grade, but they gonna get something for the guns. Like, I might not have no shells for my 9, and everybody got 40s and nicks, right? BT gonna go to the store, make sure we get that, make sure that shit done. Lil B gonna go to the store, make sure that shit done. That's what they spend their money on.
The war kicked off way back in '09. It started with fist fights at school and in Parkway. Trell was always there, a familiar face to WIIIC City before the lead started flying. Then, EBT started torching TY&B. The three brothers, Icy, Chicken, and WIIIC terrorized them. Chicken smoked TY in '09, and WIIIC smoked Lil Chris in 2010. That's how TY&B and Chris World got their names. TY&B and Oblock started sliding back, and the South Side was finna change forever. January 12th, 2011, Shondell Gregory Jr., Tooka. He was just standing at a bus stop on 63rd and St. Lawrence. A dark-colored van slid past. Some say it was TY&B brothers. Some say it was ODEE from the WIIIC City. A hitter in a black hood pulled a silver long-barrel revolver and stood over Tooka, letting 4 shots end a young life. That single hit created a new generation of ruthless savages, and it turned BossTrell into a full-blown killer. STL/EBT would later rename their block Tookaville to honor their fallen member, Tooka.
You fucked up. I'm a big smoke and a little drink. The L's just the trick and the thumb finger. What you know? What you know?
Nah.
See, me personally, I'm the shit like fly food. I wouldn't try, dude. I'm tired of you niggas thinking you hotter than me. I'll pop you and flee. Actually, mentality. Swag on the rooftop. Delete that shit, man.
July 17th, 2011. The first loss for 600, Baldy. Marcus London was out on Prairie Avenue with Breezy and Booker when 2 men pulled up and let it fly. Baldy took a headshot. Now there's 2 stories. One side says MOB, Scrap and Cleon made it Baldy world. Scrap was all over Twitter mocking him for years. But there's a darker whisper that BossTrell was the one who pulled that trigger. Will found out that the same pipe that smoked ODEE was used on Baldy just a month earlier. But in the rack, guns are passed around like candy. You never know who actually held the steel. By mid-2011, the heat in the city wasn't just the weather. 5 days after Baldy fell, lead started flying again. This time it was Quis from 650 Dipset. It started over a weed dispute. Main from STL was getting into it with a guy. Quis tried to step in for a homie, and Main pulled the tool. He tried to pistol whip him. Quis ducked, and the gun went off right into his chest. 12 says Trell was right there at the scene, watching the whole thing go down. He was only 16, but his name was already showing up in every murder report on the South Side. August 10, 2011. The day the war with the WIIIC city turned into a blood feud that would never end. The whole alliance was out. Lil J, K.I., Butter, Duck, Scrap, they was hunting. They caught O.D. Perry on his bike in the 400 block of 64th. 2 or 3 shooters ran up, and just like that, a pillar of Parkway was gone. WIIIC City became Oblock that night. OD was the man who taught the youngins like KingVon how to slide, and Trell was right there in the mix when he fell. That was Trell's 3rd murder investigation in just a few months, a real-life menace. There was a truce in the air that summer between 600 and Jaro, a shaky piece, cause 12 was threatening RICO cases. But D-Bang from 600 didn't care about no peace. He was riding his bike through Jaro territory, robbing people, humiliating King Lil J, even taking TB's shirt. Dome decided he was done with the bullying. He took his student, a 16-year-old BossTrell, and they went on a hunt. They caught D-Thang and ended his run. That hit didn't just kill a man, it killed the truce. Blood was back on the menu.
What the f***? Ain't this Young Money? What the f*** Young Money at? What's this?
About this action, man. We is out here, man. Standing on y'all corner, man.
TYMB. TY, man. GDN. TYMB. Man, these niggas some hoes, man. College Grove.
Back towards the land.
Man, back towards the S, man.
Walking, man. We got
Niggas be at, man.
Chris world, we on feet.
BossTrell, man.
G, man.
We out here, man.
But if you wanted to know why they called him Max Payne, you gotta look at February 2012. Sheroide, C. Murder's brother from Oblock. Trell didn't even have to get close. He stood back over 20 feet away and let that red laser beam do the work. One shot, straight to the dome. Trell wasn't like these other guys spraying and praying. He was a technician. He even posted videos on YouTube showing people how to strip and clean their tools. He was a professional. Trell tweeted it himself. I bet Oblock remember that red beam. KI backed it up, saying Sheroide Squad, BT invented that. Even FBG Cash sang about it, calling him Max Payne cause he never missed. See, Murder was heartbroken. His son was born just days later, and he named him Sheroide, a life for a life. Trell was now the undisputed king of hits. He made the hood safe for his people by making the opposition fear to step outside.
Success in the streets is a double-edged sword. Right after Trell put Sheroide's name in the dirt, the cloud started gathering over his head. He got picked up for an assault, but that was just a warm-up. June 2012, CPD rolled up on a call about hitters with pipes. Trell and Dutchy took off running, but 12 wasn't playing fair that day. They didn't just chase him, they hit Trell with the squad whip and let Lid fly at Dutchy. Both of them walked away with their lives, but the net was closing in. It didn't stop there. TYMB allegedly caught Trell lacking and put a bullet in him. Imagine that. You the king of hits, everybody know your face, and now every gang in the city is closing in for a piece of your crown. Oblock and 600 was thirsty for revenge. To them, Trell wasn't just a member, he was the ghost that took their brothers D-Thing and Sheroide. He became the most hunted one in the whole city. But inside, the Max Payne of Chicago was reaching his limit. Even the coldest hitters get tired of looking over their shoulder. At 17, Trell was quietly packing his bags. He had a bus ticket in his pocket set for November 10th, 2012. He was finna leave the rack forever, heading to Iowa for a fresh start, a job, a real life. He told his grandma, I got enemies you wouldn't understand.
She didn't want to believe her quiet grandson was the most feared man on 63rd.
To his people, he was still just Rodney. Responsible, easygoing, the kid that looked out for the family. But the streets don't care about who you are at home. The streets only care about the debt you owe. And for BossTrell, the debt was piling up faster than he could run. He was days away from escaping the cycle, 5 days away from a new life. But in Chicago, 5 days is a lifetime.
November 8th, 2012. 5 days before that bus ticket out of Chicago was supposed to save his life. BossTrell was in the 2600 block of West 83rd Street. He thought he was safe with his girl. But in the rack, love will get you lined up faster than hate. The word on the street is cold. He was set up by the one person he trusted to keep him low. A black van slid up, and the dream of a new life in Iowa turned into a nightmare in an alleyway. 12 found him face down in the dirt. A witness heard a young man screaming for help, running for his soul before the lead started barking. When they rolled him over, they found his tool right under his body. He fight it to the very end. They rushed him to Christ Medical Center, and the doctors fighted for him too, keeping him alive until 11:30 p.m. But that headshot was the final word. His grandma said the detectives know exactly who did it, but the streets don't talk, and the truth stayed buried in that alleyway. Now, the whispers in the dark got two faces. Some say it was Lil Mark from Quiet Money, his girlfriend's own brother, over a robbery or a stolen pipe. But the street legend, the one that makes the hair stand up on your neck, says it was the O. People say KingVon and T-Roy was the ones who jumped out that van and ended the Max Payne run. Von and T-Roy went straight to Twitter, mocking him, telling him to die slow. K.I. was completely broken. She called him the king of hits and promised to make his name ring forever. STL spent the next week letting that iron spit at Parkway, crying in lead for they fallen sniper. BossTrell fell early in the war, but his shadow is still the biggest one over 63rd. 6 bodies linked to his name: Quis, Juicy, Baldy, ODEE, D-Thang, and Sheroide. Even if half of that is street talk, he was still a rolling thunderstorm. It's a sad end for the kid who was reaching for the door, but you can't collect all them main faces and expect to walk away scot-free. You destroy that many families, and the Reaper finna come collect his tax.
RP out, man. We out here. RP BossTrell, man. Happy that. Out here on the trail.
Back out here again.
Out here like last. Sorry. Like a pain. The Dawn. We out here. Duck.
We gang, man. We on a whole lot of that gang shit.
Hold on.
Rodney Latrell Stewart, a boss, a hitter, a grandson. He lived by the red beam, and he died in the dark. R.I.P. to a real live Chicago hood legend. You locked in with HoodEdition. We talked the history, we showed the scars. The story of BossTrell is the story of the rack, where the exit is always one block too far. We out.